Stay tuned for the following special presentation from KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM. KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas, welcomes you to the Wise Guys Construction Braves Basketball pregame show. Whether it's residential, commercial, or restoration construction you need, be wise. Call Wise Guys Construction in Ottawa at 785-229-5651. Now for a preview of this Ottawa University Braves basketball broadcast, here's KOFO's David Potter.
And welcome to the Wise Guys Construction pregame show live from McPherson, where the Braves men's team now looks to do battle with the Bulldogs after a disappointing result in the women's game. The men's team will see if they can get the road victory here, just a couple hours away from Ottawa to the southwest. McPherson comes into this game at 7-10 overall and just 1-8 in conference. They actually started out the season 4-0 with wins over Manhattan Christian, Haskell from up in Lawrence, Macon, and Central Christian. They raced out to a 4-0 record, and then conference play starts, and that's when the trouble started for them. But the 1-8 record doesn't really tell the whole story for this team, as they've been in a lot of close games. They opened it up with Bethany and lost by just 3, 83-80. They then went on the road to play Kansas Wesleyan, and lost that one by only 2 points, 83-81. So at that point, they're already 0-2 in conference play, but by a combined only 5 points. They came back to beat Oklahoma Wesleyan for their lone victory, 81-73. And then after that, their next game was Bethel, and that one they dropped by quite a bit more. It was on the road. They lost 84-64 by 20 points. And then they followed it up by playing at home against Sterling, lost that one by 10, 88-78. But then went on the road to Tabor and played well. They didn't get the win, obviously, but only lost by 7, 82-75. Then they turned around and played Friends, lost by 10, 92-82. And then by 12 on the road to St. Mary, 96-84. Then they played a couple of exhibitions over the break, and then they came out and lost 115-103 in a barn burner on Thursday. So really only one blowout loss, the 84-64 loss to Bethel. Aside from that, yes, they've been losing games, but they've been losing close games. So you can't just look at the record and assume that this is a team that you can take lightly. And the Braves themselves are now on the wrong side of 500 at 4-5 in the conference, so they really want to come away from this game with a 500 record, get back up to 5-5. So they'll definitely have to bring their A game, especially on the road, as the women's team just found out. Playing on the road is always difficult, even if it looks like you've got all the advantages. Now this McPherson team, not bad offensively. Their struggles really come on defense, where they've allowed a 46% shooting percentage to opponents. But they hit 41% of their own shots, which is certainly not terrible. And they hit 34% from three-point range, which is not great, but also not bad either. So you have to respect their outside shooting, specifically from three primary players: DeAndre Henson, Chris Cook, and Aaron Baccarat, who are 37, 34, and 39% three-point shooters. But here's the number that jumps out at you, is that they have all attempted more than 100 threes already this season. There's no player on the Ottawa Braves roster who has even attempted 70. And McPherson has 3 who have attempted more than 100, and Baccarat has even attempted 132. And looking at their attempt numbers, you're talking about over 40% of their shots coming from behind the arc. So this is a team that likes to bomb from downtown, which Ottawa already saw a fair amount of that on Thursday against St. Mary, where obviously in the second half, that shooting ended up hurting the Braves as St. Mary started to get more of those into the basket. And specifically Greenberg was able to get things going. He had 3 threes in the second half of that one. But so they'll definitely need to defend all the way out to the perimeter. Those 3 I mentioned who've attempted more than 100 threes are the 3 players that McPherson has scoring in double digits per game right now. Henson averaging 13, Chris Cook averaging about 17, and then Aaron Baccarat at about 13 points per game. They don't have any real dominant rebounders. Thomas Butler, probably the closest thing they have. He'll likely be a starter tonight, averaging 6 rebounds and just under 9 points per game. And sorry for the interruption there. I had people trying to talk to me, but Thomas Butler will likely get the start, and he will get about 9 points and 6 boards per game on average. Another thing to note is that there aren't really any shot blockers on this team. They only have, as a team, have 20 blocked shots on the year, whereas the Braves, who aren't a dominant shot blocking team either, have 60. So there won't be a lot of rim protection for McPherson, which hopefully will lead to easier shot attempts down low and maybe some easy baskets around the hoop for Ottawa. But again, the main thing that will jump out at you is the three-point shooting, and then, of course, those guys that I mentioned, also good free throw shooters. Henson, not quite as much, a 65% shooter, but Cook and Baccarat both hitting both over 80% of their shots, and they've got another sub in Ryan O'Hara, who hits 83% from the line. Thomas Butler, one of their big men, hits 71%. So it's a team that can shoot and can score, but just hasn't come out on the right side of the scoreboard in all but one of their conference games so far. We'll take a quick break and then be back with more of the Wise Guys Construction pregame show. You're listening to OU Basketball on KOFO.
Anyone can call themselves a construction company, slap a sign on the side of their truck, and drive around town looking for work. Is that who you want to hire? No, you're smarter than that. Wise Guys Construction at 108 North Main in Ottawa has been in business for 13 years, building new residential homes, adding additions and finishing basements, solving commercial structure needs for businesses, and repairing damage left behind from fire or water. When it comes to who you hire for residential and commercial construction needs, be wise. Call Wise Guys Construction at 785-229-5651.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
And we're back with more of the Wise Guys Construction pregame show in McPherson. So looking at the McPherson roster, got a couple of guys who are going to be taller than anyone the Braves have on their roster. Stefan Krasmanovic does not play much. He's just a freshman, but is listed at 6'8", 230 pounds. He's only played in a few games, so you probably won't see much of him, but you will see quite a bit of Reed Powell, who averages 21 points a game and has started in 10 of their 15 games he's played in. He's 6'8", 240 pounds out of Topeka, so he'll be going against, for most of the game, likely Logan Bollinger, who's 6'6", and they don't lift weights, but he's definitely not 240 pounds, so that will be something that they'll have to account for down low. Now Reed Powell averaging only about 5 rebounds, 6 points per game, and has only blocked 4 shots. So those aren't necessarily the numbers you'd expect to see from a guy at 6'8", who that makes him one of the tallest players in the conference. But so might not be an extremely physical player, especially for his size, but it'll definitely be something that the Braves will want to account for. Now, as far as the Braves go, they're coming off a tough loss to St. Mary on Thursday. They end up losing that one by 11. A game where they were only down by 1 at halftime. It was really anyone's game, and it was a 12-point loss, and that 12-point deficit not really indicative of how close that game was. There were 17 lean changes. It was back and forth, and then in the second half, St. Mary started hitting some more shots and was able to pull away Grant Greenberg, the conference's leading scorer, averaging 28 points a game. Held to just 3 in the first half, and that was huge in keeping the Braves in it, but was able to go off for 19 in the second. Hit 3 threes, hit all 5 of his free throws, and that really helped sink Ottawa's chances, but they were able to stay in the entire game. They got a really good effort off the bench from Jeremiah Brooks, who ended up playing quite a few more minutes than he normally does, was in double digits, grabbed 8 rebounds, so a nice game for him. We'll see if they can get another good contribution from him in addition to Logan Bollinger down as post players. He's not a center by any means, but he is 6'4" and has definitely athletic, has good leaping ability, and is able to play down low a little bit when they need him to. But part of the problem for the Braves on Thursday was just missing easy shots. And maybe easy shots is oversimplifying it. It's never easy to fly into the lane and get to the rim at full speed and then get the ball into the basket if you're not in a position to dunk it. Titus Rice and Hollis Mitchell specifically had a couple of nice drives where they were able to get into the lane, get to the basket where they wanted to be, but then the ball just, for whatever reason, instead of rolling into the basket off the rim, rolled out. And they probably cost themselves some points that way. Titus Rice, not his best shooting game, not his best offensive game, but had some opportunities, but sometimes the ball just doesn't roll where you want it to. We'll take another break and then be back with the last segment of the Wise Guys Construction pregame show. You're listening to Braves basketball on KOFO.
Scott Schultz of Comfort Care Homes on the renovation of their facility in Ottawa, completed by Wise Guys Construction.
Bill and Jason managed the project. They basically handled all the external communication with all the different parties, and it was a very smooth process. I was extremely satisfied. We've received nothing but compliments on the home and just really glad to have them involved. But I think Wise Guys is one of the leading construction firms in Ottawa.
Be wise. Call Wise Guys Construction, 785-229-5651.
She's here. The first baby of 2017. Welcome, Eva Eileen Rossi, born at 6:36 a.m., January 1st. Eva was born at Ransom Memorial Hospital, weighing in at an even 8 pounds and 20 inches long. She's the daughter of Alicia and Marcus Rossi. Mom and Dad and new daughter Eva join big sister Lila Rossi at home in Wellsville. Congratulations to the Rossi family from KOFO and Ransom Memorial Hospital.
And we're back in McPherson with the last of the Wise Guys Construction pregame show. Again, previewing this battle between the McPherson Bulldogs, who are 7-10 overall, 1-8 in conference, but they've gone 6-2 in non-conference play. Then the Braves, who are sitting at 6-10 overall, 4-5 in conference play. So kind of mirror image of McPherson in that respect, where they've struggled in their non-conference schedule, but have done a little better in the KCAC, whereas McPherson has only won 1 game in conference play, but done very well outside the conference. So for the Braves, just reviewing how their players have done so far this season, of course, you've got Titus Rice and Logan Bollinger leading the way in terms of scoring, each with over 16 points a game, but Hollis Mitchell, a team captain along with Logan Bollinger, scores just over 11 points a game, also leads the team in assists with about 4 per game, and then also leads the conference in steals, gets 2.5 steals per game. So he's a high IQ type of defensive player, knows where the opponent is going with the ball. He's able to jump into the passing lanes. He's got quick hands, so if you're not paying attention, you're in front of him dribbling, you're likely to get that ball taken away. And then also averaging double-digit points is Cameron Lindsay, averaging 11 per game, and one of their better three-point shooters, hitting 34% on the year. But he missed some games in there, and that's sort of a small sample size. He's at 17 of 50. He's only played in 9 of the team's 16 games. He and Emeka Okoronkwo kind of switch places and play the same spot out on the wing. And you rarely see both on the floor at the same time. They'll typically sort of alternate minutes. We'll go ahead and take our final break and then be back with the tip-off here in McPherson. You've been listening to the Wise Guys Construction pregame show here on KOFO.
Thank you for listening to the Wise Guys Construction Braves basketball pregame show. Tip-off is next on KOFO. Bill Crowley, owner of Wise Guys Construction in Ottawa, on what sets them apart as your trusted source for residential and commercial construction.
We're not a handyman service. We're a professional licensed construction company. We're not only licensed in Ottawa. With our license, we can work anywhere.
Which means?
No matter what the project or where, you get a licensed contractor every time. We've been in business for 13 years. Our experience and customer service are what keeps us in business.
Wise Guys Construction, 785-229-5651.
Sports, information, and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS Ottawa, where keeping you informed comes first.
KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas, welcomes you to this broadcast of Ottawa University Braves basketball. Brought to you by Modern Woodman agent Dale Pearson, Dr. Hale Family Dentistry, Kansas State Bank, Adamson Brothers Heating and Cooling, the Ottawa Recreation Commission, and by State Farm Insurance agent Ryan Dispro, Ransom Memorial Hospital, Sutton's Jewelry, CarStar, Messengers Home Furnishings. Also by Dingle & Son Mortuary, Ottawa University, the Ottawa Herald, Wise Guys Construction, Kramer Pharmacy, Franklin County Chiropractic, and Cosentino's Price Chopper, State Farm Insurance agent Keith King, Lamb Roberts Funeral Home, People's Bank, Advantage Electric, Quality Structures Incorporated, and Maxwell Chiropractic. Now let's rejoin KOFO's David Potter, courtside for Ottawa University Braves basketball.
Welcome back to McPherson. They're announcing the starting lineups, and then we'll be able to get underway. It is the typical starting lineup for the Braves. You've got Hollis Mitchell starting at point guard, Cameron Lindsay, Alex Hasty, and Titus Rice all playing the wing guard/forward spot that they use. Kind of 2, 3, and 4 is sort of interchangeable in the style that they play, and then the big man Logan Bullinger down low. And again, Cameron Lindsay and Emeka Okoronkwo will typically kind of alternate positions. Jeremiah Brooks can come in really for any of them. Jacob Neidig will typically be the point guard coming in when Hollis Mitchell's not on the floor. It's almost always either Neidig or Mitchell on the floor at all times. So McPherson again 7-10 overall, 1-8 in conference, trying to make it a clean sweep against the Braves today after the women's team was able to knock off the Braves by 10. Starting for McPherson, of course, DeAndre Henson, one of the three main players that I named in the pregame show. Aaron Bakura, who has attempted the most threes of anyone on the team, another starter. They're listed at 6'4", 6'1", respectively. Then Grant Raleigh, another starter, a 6'2" sophomore. Thomas Butler also getting the start. He's a 6'4" forward, listed at 245 pounds, and looking at him, I don't doubt that. He is a big guy. And then Reed Powell, the 6'8" senior from Topeka, the other big man. But Thomas Butler, it's easy to see how he leads the team in rebounds at 6'4", because he is a big guy. So between him and the 6'8" Reed Powell, the Braves will have their hands full in terms of McPherson's size and height. And then even despite those two big guys down low, again, this is a team that likes to shoot as many threes as possible. Again, shooting more than 40% of their overall shots from behind the arc. So they'll have to defend them all the way out to the perimeter and make sure they can seal off the entry passes down low, but also defend the perimeter. be Logan Bollinger out there to tip off, I would assume, against Reed Powell at 6'8". They kind of took an extra huddle there before taking the court. Now they are out there. And it will be Reed Powell to tip off against Logan Bollinger to see who gets opening possession. The arena has filled in quite a bit, but still a very quiet crowd here in McPherson, whereas it was through the entire women's game, almost eerily quiet at times. Reed Powell wins the tip-off and will get it out to Grant Raleigh to start things off. He gets it to Thomas Butler, who wants to drive on Alex Hasty, who's not nearly as thick as he is. He gets into the lane, but then has to kick it back out. Grant Raleigh out on the right wing gets to Reed Powell at the top of the key. They'll swing it over to DeAndre Henson. Raleigh again. Butler hands it off to Bakura for three. In and out, rebounded by Hollis Mitchell. So their first shot of the game is a three, and it's not going to be the last. The Braves going left to right, wearing their gold away uniforms. McPherson wearing gray, moving right to left. Logan Bollinger has the ball, hands it off to Hollis Mitchell. Nice backdoor cut by Titus Rice, and he dunks it home along the baseline. The Braves out to a 2-0 lead. And that's the first Brave lead we've seen today, including the entirety of the women's game. Here's Bakura getting trapped out on the wing. Gets it to Reed Powell, who flashes a nice jump shot from a couple feet behind the free throw line. So the 6'8" Powell able to play out away from the post. Here's Titus Rice for a corner three. Wide open. Got it. Knocks it down. 5-2 Braves. McPherson looking to push the tempo. Grant Raleigh hurries down. Gets it to Reed Powell. Thought about the shot, then hands it off. DeAndre Henson finds the big man Thomas Butler. Swings it back out to Henson. They'll reset the offense now. 13 on the shot clock. Butler's going to take a three, and he's got it. Ties it back up. So both McPherson's, or two of McPherson's first three shots coming from beyond the arc. Bollinger out to Cameron Lindsay, wants to drive, now kicks it to Titus Rice. Lindsay mishandled that pass, able to regain it. Now gets it down low to Logan Bollinger. Going to swing it over to Titus Rice for another corner three. Missed that one. Alex Hasty with a nice offensive rebound. Mitchell setting things back up. Gets it back over to Titus Rice. Finds Cameron Lindsay. Logan Bollinger with a foot on the line. Hits it. Long two. An inefficient shot, but when it goes in, you take it. 7-5 Braves, 17:25 to go here in the first quarter. Grant Raleigh swinging it over to Reed Powell, the big man. Plays away from the basket a lot. Here's Thomas Butler wanting to back Alex Hasty down, and they're going to call Hasty for a foul. Not a lot of contact there. Hasty clearly is going to have his hands full with the 6'4", 245-pound Thomas Butler. Hasty also about 6'4", but not anywhere close to 245 pounds, and it's just going to be a struggle not letting Butler establish position down there in the post. Butler from the top of the key wants another three, gets another three. 8-7, McPherson on top. He's 2 of 2 from beyond the arc now. Hollis Mitchell bringing it down along the right side. He's at the right wing, gets over to Titus Rice, who swings it to Cameron Lindsay. Lindsay down low to Logan Bollinger. Spots up, misses short. Butler with the rebound. Going quickly back the other way. Pull up three. No, he had a foot on the line. It'll be a two. Misses anyway. Cameron Lindsay gets the defensive board. He wants to push the tempo and bring it himself. Looking to go coast to coast. Now he kicks it out to Titus Rice for another corner three. Out. He's taken 3 threes from almost the exact same spot. He's made one of them over there in the left corner. Grant Raleigh with the ball. Swings it to Reed Powell at the top of the key. Thought about a three himself. Now Raleigh's going to shoot one from way behind the arc, and Bollinger gets a long rebound off the miss. Hollis Mitchell gets it to Bollinger, fakes the three, now kicks it out to Titus Rice. Rice over to Bollinger. This time he's behind the line and misses. Rebounded by DeAndre Henson. Grant Raleigh in the corner working on Hollis Mitchell. Pulls up for a long two, rims out, rebounded by Rice. Rice swings out to Hollis Mitchell, going left to right, getting into the lane. Pulls up for the two from the elbow, rims out. Rebound tipped out by Logan Bullinger and reeled in by Alex Hasty. Nice job. Bullinger, long pass over to Cameron Lindsay on the other side of the court. Now they'll swing it over to Mitchell on the right side. He's fouled by Grant Raleigh as he drives. Still 8-7 McPherson, 15-21 still to go here in the first half. Hasty comes off. Jeremiah Brooks will come into the game. Again, he had a solid day off the bench on Thursday against St. Mary. The inbound goes to Jeremiah Brooks. Spin move. Can't quite connect on the little scoop shot from about 4 or 5 feet out. McPherson with the ball now on the other side. DeAndre Henson gets it to Grant Raleigh. Thought about the three, then decides against it. Butler passes it off to Aaron Bakura. Working around the perimeter. Reed Powell calling for it down low. But instead we're going to see Thomas Butler pulling up from the free throw line, and it rattles in. So he's got 8 points already. And the Braves are down 3. Cameron Lindsay gets it to Brooks down low, drives the baseline, sends it out to Titus Rice. He'll take another three. In and out. Looks good. He's now 1 of 4 from behind the arc today. McPherson pushing the tempo. They'll pull up for a long three. Henson off target. Cameron Lindsay with the rebound. Gets over to Hollis Mitchell. Devin Perez is going to check in at the next opportunity. Cameron Lindsay, a long three of his own, in and out. Rebound again by Butler. He's third already. Already 8 points and 3 boards for the big 6'4", 245-pound junior out of Key West, Florida, Thomas Butler. Grant Raleigh wants to drive on Hollis Mitchell, gets to the baseline, then has to kick it out and had no real plan. Titus Rice gets the steal. And Cameron Lindsay able to finish on the other end, lays it in. It's 10-9. It's a 1-point game now. Butler sends it over to Henson on the wing. Now here's a long three from Bakura. They're not afraid to fire from anywhere, even if they're a few feet behind the arc. Now Hollis Mitchell on the other end goes up for it. Little contact there, no call. Goes off the glass and misses. Rebound by McPherson, still a 1-point game. Now a steal by Logan Bullinger on the pass into the middle. Hollis Mitchell setting up a play. Titus Rice goes down to the low post. Jeremiah Brooks out on the wing. He's going to swing it to Rice, who's moved into the corner. Now Rice looking for someone to pass it to. They'll move the ball around the perimeter. Cameron Lindsay gets it Hollis Mitchell. Only 6 seconds left on the shot clock. He's going to pull up for three. Good. He got it. Nothing but net, and the Braves take back the lead, 12-10. 12:40 remaining in the first half. Thomas Butler swings it over to DeAndre Henson. Henson finds Reed Powell at the top of the key, almost traveled. Get out to Grant Raleigh. Defended by Hollis Mitchell. Now there's going to be a call down low. Defensive foul away from the ball on Jeremiah Brooks. Neidig and Perez to come on for Cameron Lindsay and Hollis Mitchell. Be an inbound for McPherson. The call was away from the ball, and only the second team foul on the Braves. Not a lot of fouls being called either way so far. Garrett Owen into the game for McPherson, as is Chris Cook. There's Cook at the top of the key for three, misses. And the rebound goes out of bounds. Last touched by, it was another big man, Ryan O'Hara. He's 6'6", so there's definitely some size on this McPherson team. He wasn't able to reel in that board, and it goes out of bounds. Neidig brings it down for the Braves, moving left to right. Here's Jeremiah Brooks from the elbow. He's fouled on the floor by Thomas Butler. Foul number 1 on Butler, 2 on McPherson as a team. Perez to inbound. He'll get it to Logan Bullinger. Hands it back off to Perez. Rice swings it to Neidig. Bullinger to Perez. Perez drives into the lane. Loses track of the ball. Brooks is able to regain possession. 15 seconds on the shot clock, and Braves are going to reset. Now Neidig looking to drive. Dump it off to Titus Rice. Thought about the three. Now a pull-up jumper from the elbow. Knocks it down. Braves are up by 4. 14-10. Rice has been a volume shooter so far, has 5 points. Here's DeAndre Henson getting it over to Chris Cook. See a lot of substitutions for McPherson. No player on this team averages 30 points a game. A nice block by Jeremiah Brooks, going up and rejecting the shot attempt. And now a loose ball. Was Bullinger able to dive on it and call for the timeout to retain possession. So we'll take 30 seconds, then be back with more Braves basketball here on KOFO.
The Ottawa Shopper has a new look with new features. Never miss your favorite TV show with the TV Guides. Find area church times and the popular Kids Talk About God column on the church pages. And get useful employment tips from our weekly Q&A advice column. Call 242-4700 to get your Franklin County address added to our subscription list for free, or pick up the Ottawa Shopper at multiple racks around town. That's 242-4700.
We're back in McPherson after the hustle play by Logan Bullinger to fall on that loose ball and then call the timeout before the big man Ryan O'Hara could get on it and force a tie-up. He'll throw it into Neidig. Same lineup stays out on the court for the Braves. 11 minutes still to go here in the first half. They're up by 4, 14-10. Neidig gets it into Jeremiah Brooks. And I'm not sure how there's no call one way or another there. He tried to back down Thomas Butler. Butler looked like helped himself to the ground a little bit, fell, and then Brooks tripped over him and landed on him. And no foul call on either player. On the other end, it's going to be a foul on Ryan O'Hara. So the Braves get the ball back. Still up 14-10, approaching the halfway point of the first half. Neidig at the top of the key, picks up his dribble, gets it to Jeremiah Brooks. He's going to hand it off to Devin Perez. Back to Neidig. Perez has some room, takes a three, short, rebounded by Titus Rice. They'll extend the possession. Perez with the ball again. Neidig swings it over to Perez, to Bullinger. Now Rice looks to get into the lane. That might be a charge, and it is. Butler slid under Rice as he went to drive and drew the charge call. So that's foul number 1 against Rice. 10-12 left on the clock. It's still 14-10. Not a lot of offense so far in this one. Garrett Owen to bring it down for McPherson. We'll get it back over to Thomas Butler. Swings it to DeAndre Henson. Keep working it around the perimeter. They'll try and get it down low. Butler has to pass it off at the last second as he was flying out of bounds. That's going to be a foul on who? Somebody for the Braves. I saw an arm reach in there. And it was Neidig. Saw an arm reach in and grab some forearm trying to get that steal. We'll see Zachary Brown on, not usually a player who plays early in games. He's mostly seen mop-up duty this game, but he's in to provide a little height for Ottawa, standing at 6'8" himself. McPherson still working around the perimeter. Now they'll get it down low to Ryan O'Hara, working against Newman, and rims out. Or, excuse me, that's Zach Brown, not Wyatt Newman. So the missed shot coming back the other way. Jacob Neidig with the ball at the top of the key. Jeremiah Brooks almost mishandled that pass. Able to reel it in now. It's Brooks on the drive, dumps it off down low to Brown. He's going to be fouled. Zachary Brown being aggressive, taking it up, and draws the foul from... Looks like they'll call it on Aaron Bakura. Will be Zach Brown's first trip to the free throw line this season. He misses the first. Braves still up 14-10. Scoreboard's been stuck there for a while. Second free throw is in, so they'll make it 15-10. 9:10 remaining in the first half. Garrett Owen looked to drive, then had to back it out. He'll swing it back to Chris Cook. Runs into some pressure, loses the ball. Devin Perez ends up with the steal, coming back the other way. Now he's going to have to slow it up. Perez swings it over to Neidig, gets it down low to Jeremiah Brooks, finishes through some contact, no call, but he'll get the basket. 7-point lead for OU. Cook way out on the wing, now dumps it into O'Hara. O'Hara turns to face up. Now Perez jumps into the passing lane, gets another steal. He wants to take this one all the way, and that's a foul. It's got to be, no, that can't be a charge. They call it a charge, but he was standing right in the protected zone. They'll call the charge on Perez, but that player had both feet firmly behind the white line in the protected zone around the rim where you can't draw a charge for safety reasons. First foul on Perez, under 8.5 to go in the first half. Here's DeAndre Henson. Now a rejection by Zach Brown, who's making his presence known in a rare early appearance in this game. On the drive attempt by Grant Raleigh. Here's Butler kicking it back out to Raleigh. Raleigh wants to drive. A lot of contact in there, no call. Butler with the offensive board and putback misses. Neidig is able to come down with a physical defensive rebound. And get it over to Cameron Lindsay. Brown swings it to Jeremiah Brooks. Neidig gets the top of the key, gets into the lane. Nice backdoor cut and a floater by, that was Mike McKinney into the game, and he pushes the lead to 9. Now there's going to be a foul on the floor as Chris Cook tried to quickly take it in and drive on the other side. Now the inbound to Reed Powell. He'll hand it off to Raleigh. Three-pointer rims out, rebounded by Cameron Lindsay. Now it's Mike McKinney taking it the other way. He'll get it down low to Logan Bullinger, whose pass is off target. He tried to save it, but it goes into the hands of Chris Cook. He tries to drive it all the way to the other side, misses the layup, and an offensive board by McPherson. Butler swings over to Reed Powell. Powell wants to back down Bullinger. Now he's going to kick it out to Grant Raleigh. Thought about the three, decides against it. Now Bakura lets fly a long two, misses, rebounded by Neidig. Neidig will get it over to Lindsay, swings it to the top of the key. Neidig now finds himself under the basket, tries to kick it out. They're going to call him for a travel. He found himself pushed too far down toward the baseline and had to pick up his dribble and try and throw it back in. And McPherson wants a full timeout. We'll take a minute and be back with more Braves basketball. They're on top by 9 here in McPherson.
Kramer Pharmacy, downtown Ottawa, hopes you're enjoying this KOFO sports broadcast and wishes all the area teams good luck this season. Call Kramer Pharmacy today and ask about their convenient MedSync program that allows you to have all your prescriptions filled at the same time each month. Call 242-2055.
Since 1944, families of Franklin County have called Dingle & Son Mortuary and Crematory in their time of need. Why? Because of the peace of mind received knowing that Dingle & Son will take charge and exceed expectations. Visit dinglemortuary.com.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
And we're back in McPherson where the Braves are up 19-10. McPherson just called a timeout to try and come up with a plan. They haven't scored in quite some time. They took a 10-7 lead, and it's been nothing but Braves ever since. Although the Braves have amassed those points slowly, it hasn't been a barrage of scoring. McPherson's played pretty good defense. Butler to throw it in to Grant Raleigh, who will bring it down the court, moving right to left for McPherson. Powell swinging it over to Raleigh. Back inside to Powell, who's going to back down Logan Bullinger. Kicks out to a wide-open Grant Raleigh for three. Misses again. Alex Hasty pulls down the board. That's going to be a foul on Thomas Butler, reaching in to try and knock it away. That's number 2 on Thomas Butler. No, that's the first on Butler. My memory fails me once again. Under 6.5 to go here in the first half. Hollis Mitchell swings it over to Cameron Lindsay. Finds Logan Bullinger wide open underneath the basket off a nice backdoor cut. And the Braves push their lead to double digits. They're up by 11, 21-10. Powell over to Butler at the top of the key. There's Chris Cook driving. Now kicks it over to Reed Powell at the free throw line. Jump shot rims out. Butler almost got the offensive board, but Hasty ends up with it. Mitchell swings it out to Cameron Lindsay. Lindsay will get it over to Mitchell to reset things. Finds Logan Bullinger from three-point range. Got it. Braves are up by 14, 24-10. Big lead on the road early. Getting off to a good start. And now that pass almost resulted in a turnover for McPherson. But Baccarat able to track it down just before it goes out of bounds. Here's Raleigh getting into Reed Powell. Now finds Butler making a cut, and he's going to be fouled. For a 245-pound man, Butler finds himself being thrown to the ground an awful lot. I'll let you read that however you wish, but it seems awfully easy to knock down, especially when there's a possibility of drawing a foul. Butler's first free throw rims out. Hasty will sub out. Jeremiah Brooks back into the game for the Braves. 5:20 to go here in the first half. Butler has 8 of the Bulldogs' 10 points, but missed the first free throw there. Number 2 is up, and nothing but net. So that's the first McPherson point in quite some time. I believe over 5 minutes. As the Braves have built up a lead, it's now 24-11. Titus Rice at the top of the key. Wants to shoot. Now he finds Jeremiah Brooks making a cut to the basket. He's fouled as he goes up. Misses the shot, but he's going to get 2 free throws. Foul's going to be called on Grant Munson, the 6'5" freshman who just entered the game. First free throw for Brooks is off target to the right side. Brooks a 65% free throw shooter. The second one hangs there on the rim for a moment and then rolls out, but nice offensive board by Cameron Lindsay getting in there. Lindsay to Logan Bullinger, who's wide open underneath the basket and lays it in again. 15-point game. Braves out ahead on the road. Butler wants a 3. Rims out. Rebounded by Jeremiah Brooks. Hollis Mitchell cutting in and out of defenders, up, and a circus layup off the glass and no good. Now the Bulldogs look to take it the other way. Layup misses, almost blocked. Nice offensive rebound by the freshman, Grant Munson. He's able to get the putback. Titus Rice driving the baseline. A lot of contact there by Munson and no call. Now Cameron Lindsay is going to be called for a reach. .4:15 to go here in the first half as Coach Siebenthal pleads his case for a foul on the other side. But for now, we'll shoot 1-1 due to the reach by Cameron Lindsay. Chris Cook at the line. He is an 86% free throw shooter. And the first one is good. Cook's second free throw is good. Grant Raleigh comes off, and Garrett Owen comes back on. Owen just a freshman out of Oklahoma. Hollis Mitchell bringing it down, setting up an offensive play. The Braves are up by 11. McPherson seems to have found a little bit of offense here in the last couple minutes after a long scoring drought. Braves swinging it around the perimeter. Cameron Lindsay pulling up for a long two. He hit it. 28-15. I think he had both feet on the three-point line. Very nearly a triple. Butler gets it over to Garrett Owen on the right wing. Owen, nice pass to Munson. Now a three-pointer by Chris Cook off the front of the rim, rebounded by Munson, and that's going to be a foul on Logan Bullinger as he goes up for a putback. Two free throws upcoming for Grant Munson, who is 11 of 13 from the free throw line this year. Make it 12 of 14. .12-point game now, and will stay at 12, but Thomas Butler able to get in there for an offensive board. Chris Cook looking to get into the lane. He does. Goes up and one. Jeremiah Brooks stepped in to try and draw the charge, but he's going to get called for the block, and now Cook can make this a single-digit game. Cook, the best free throw shooter on the team. He's 2 for 2 so far today. He'll get an opportunity for a third now. The Braves up 28-18. 3:21 remaining in the first half. That foul was the second called against Jeremiah Brooks. Free throws up and good. 9-point game is Hollis Mitchell bringing it down. Cameron Lindsay sends it over to Hollis Mitchell. Back to Lindsay, wants a three. Gets the three from the right wing. 31-19, Braves on top. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Chris Cook to shoot the three. He'll get his. So Lindsay and Cook exchange three-pointers, and it's back to a 9-point game. Cameron Lindsay swings over to Logan Bullinger at the top of the key. Here's Hollis Mitchell driving the baseline. A little floater, rims out. Rebounded by DeAndre Henson, and that's going to be a foul on Hollis Mitchell as he contested for the rebound, and Henson ended up slamming it to him, but Mitchell kind of slid under him while he was in midair. It's a good call. Braves have now committed 10 fouls, so the Bulldogs are in the double bonus, and Henson will shoot 2 free throws where he's a 65% shooter. First is good. They're eating into that lead that's been as big as 15. It's now down to 8. Hollis Mitchell comes off with that second foul, and Jacob Neidig will come on. 2:37 remaining here in the first half. Free throw is up and good. 7-point game. Neidig defended by Garrett Owen. Picks up his dribble, swings it over to Titus Rice on the left wing, and here's Cameron Lindsay. Finds Logan Bollinger, looks down low to Jeremiah Brooks, who draws the foul as he goes up. Foul is going to be called on Grant Munson. That's number 2 on Munson, and it puts the Braves in the bonus, although that's a shooting foul, so it'll be 2 free throws regardless for Brooks. First free throw is good. He missed his first pair, but knocks that one down. Number 2 on its way, and it's in. The lead pushed back up to 9 for OU. Coming back right to left for McPherson is Chris Cook. Still has his dribble, doesn't want it, passes it off. Here's a nice pass down low, but blocked by Logan Bollinger. And now missed from point-blank range by Munson, and Bollinger gets the board. Bollinger doing work down low. Here's Cameron Lindsay at the top of the key, takes a step in. Jump shot is no good. Those 19-foot jumpers are an inefficient shot. Might as well take the 3. Chris Cook pulls up for a long 2 of his own, and he gets his shot to fall. I'll push this back to a 7-point game. Neidig brings it down. Cameron Lindsay on the wing. We'll swing it over to Titus Rice, who's been quiet since taking a lot of shots early on. He draws the foul. That's going to be on Butler, number 2 on him. .109 to go here in the first half in McPherson. They've pulled to within single digits, 7 points now in fact, but have been down by as many as 15. First free throw no good. And Bruce is going to come out. Carino Gurley comes on, who is built almost identically to Thomas Bruce. Bruce listed at 6'4", 245. Gurley is 6'3", 220. And they're both thick guys. So McPherson just has a lot of size that they can throw at you. Rice's second free throw is good after missing the first. Makes it an 8-point game. Garrett Owen driving, now kicks it out for an open 3. Got it. That was DeAndre Henson cutting the lead to 5. So they've shaved 10 points off that 15-point Ottawa lead. 50 seconds to go. Titus Rice wants to drive. Now he'll kick it out, but he draws the foul as he goes up. Now he'll go to the free throw line. That foul called against DeAndre Henson. The first on Henson. It'll be 1-1 for Titus Rice as he left his feet as he was fouled, but it was to pass, not to shoot. He sinks the first free throw, though, so it's a null point. Mike McKinney ready to check back in. He's going to come on for Cameron Lindsay. Haven't seen Emeka Okoronkwo yet. The second free throw by Rice is good. Pushes the lead back to 7. Garrett Owen to bring it down for McPherson. Looks to get into the paint. Feeds it to Reed Powell, who has his shot, if not blocked, at least affected by Bollinger. But McPherson able to track it down. And now a nice pass by Gurley inside to Munson, who finishes through the contact. That's going to be a foul called on Logan Bollinger, and I believe that's number 2 on him. It is. 5-point game could become 4 here if he hits this free throw, and he's an excellent free throw shooter. Zach Brown is going to check in for Bollinger for these last 30 seconds, so he doesn't pick up a third before halftime. Munson steps up to the line, spins the ball and puts it up. It's the free throw. 36-32 now as Cam Lindsay checks in for Chris Cook. 4 points, the smallest lead the Braves have had since very early on in the first half. Hollis Mitchell's going to bring it down the court. Crosses the half-court line. No shot clock, so they can hold for the last if they want it. Not enough time now to go 2 for 1, so might as well hold. 10 seconds left on the clock. Here's Cameron Lindsay. Passes it out to the wing. It's stolen by Gurley. And not sure what the call is. There's been no signal made by the referee. Gurley dove on top of the ball. I think they're going to call a tie-up. That must be because they switched the possession arrow. They're giving it to the Braves, but he never made the hand signal. 4.5 seconds now. The Braves can try and get one last shot after almost turning it over there. Here's Hollis Mitchell. Back to Lindsay for a deep three. No good. Came up short. And the Braves are going to go into the locker room up by 4, but with the Bulldogs on a run to end the second half. It's 36-32. Coming up next is the Advantage Electric halftime show on KOFO. You're listening to Braves basketball.
Whether you're building or remodeling, you want your project to be unique to you. Eric Crowley of Advantage Electric can help.
Something recently we've started is custom lighting. Making custom lights, I've noticed it's a new trend. Not everybody wants the big, box light fixtures that you can buy. Everybody's looking for something eclectic nowadays and new and a conversation piece.
Your ideas come to life.
Anything and everything that you could think of that you could possibly make a light fixture out of, we could certainly do it.
Advantage Electric, 229 North Main. Call 418-1218. Quality Structures Incorporated in Richmond is proud to sponsor this KOFO sports broadcast. They know experience matters on the court and when it comes to your building needs. Visit qualitystructures.com and let them put their years of experience in constructing post-frame buildings to work for you. People's Bank in Ottawa is proud to support our area sports teams. From People's Bank Field at Ottawa University to our Bucks for Buckets promotion and more, we believe our local sports programs are an investment in our future. Best of luck to all the teams from all of us at People's Bank. Member FDIC.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
Smart Ottawa shoppers know Costantino's Price Chopper has the best rewards program in town. Only Price Chopper lets you earn points on all your purchases. Visit mypricechopper.com and start saving on food or fuel today. Shop Costantino's, your local family-owned grocer since 1948.
Eric Price and his staff at the Lamb Roberts Funeral Homes are proud to sponsor this KOFO sports broadcast and honored to help so many families in the community with compassionate care when it's needed most. Lamb Roberts Funeral Home, Ottawa, Baldwin City, and Overbrook.
Thank you for joining us for the Advantage Electric Braves halftime show on KOFO. Whether you're building or remodeling, residential or commercial, get the electric advantage for your project. Advantage Electric, 229 North Main in Ottawa. Call 418-1218. So the Braves find themselves on top at the end of the first half, but just by 4, 36-32. At one point they led 25-10, so allowed McPherson to go on a 22-9 run since that time, or 22-11 run since that time. McPherson struggling from the floor, hitting just 29% of their shots, but they've shot 6 more than the Braves, thanks to 8 offensive rebounds. So defensive rebounding been a bit of a problem for the Braves. 8 rebounds on 24. So, I'm sorry, people keep coming up to speak to me while I'm on the air here. But 10 of 34 shooting for McPherson in the first half, 4 of 13 from outside. So they have shot about 40% of their shots from three-point range, which is pretty typical for them, but only hitting 31%, which is actually also fairly typical. But they were able to end that long scoring drought and really pour on some points at the very end of the half, thanks largely in part to Chris Cook, who came in off the bench and put in 10 points. Thomas Butler was the leading scorer up to that point. He has 9 points and 7 rebounds. He's also hit 2 of 3 from outside, so the big man has been effective for McPherson. For the Braves, led in scoring by Titus Rice with 10, but he's been a bit of a volume shooter, 3 of 7, 1 of 4 from three-point range, and then Logan Bollinger with 9 points to his name, but also, not to be overlooked, 2 blocks and 1 steal, so he's been very effective defensively as well. We'll go ahead and take a break, and then be back with more of the Advantage Electric Halftime Show. You're listening to Braves Basketball here on KOFO.
This is Eric Crowley with Advantage Electric. On the court, teams look for any advantage they can get. When it comes to your electric needs, whether residential, commercial, or custom, we're your advantage. Advantage Electric, 229 North Main in Ottawa. Call today at 785-418-1218.
At State Farm, our goal is to help people manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and realize their dreams. This is State Farm Agent Keith King in Ottawa. Let me help you protect what's most important to you. Give my office a call at 785-242-9435 or stop by at 111 South Main Street in Ottawa.
Adamson Brothers has been maintaining your comfort for over 30 years, and they can keep you warm this winter with wood stoves, pellet stoves, and gas or wood fireplaces. Call them today at 785-242-9273. That's 785-242-9273.
Ransom Memorial Hospital Cancer Care, your cancer-fighting team, is open and accepting patients. For a personalized care experience, call 785-229-8203. Online at ransom.org or at 1301 South Main Street, Ottawa. RMH Cancer Care, close to home, close to your heart.
Need to know if your child's game or practice has been canceled due to weather? Sign up now for Ottawa Recreation Commission's text alerts. Go to orcottawaks.org to sign up or for more information.
This is Lou Baker at CarStar Ottawa. Our technicians are highly trained, ICAR certified repair experts. We provide continued education for our employees and the latest equipment to ensure the highest quality repairs. We work hard at staying your #1 collision repair shop. 1-800-CARSTAR. Relax, we'll take it from here.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
And we're back with more of the Advantage Electric Halftime Show from here in McPherson. Again, it's 36-32 Ottawa, but McPherson able to end that second half on a run that closed out from a 15-point lead. Mentioned Logan Bollinger's 9 points and 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal. Another player filling up the stat sheet for the Braves has been Cameron Lindsay. Only has 7 points, but 5 rebounds, 3 assists. So he's been very effective offensively and not only scoring a bit for himself, but setting up others, and then leads the team with 5 boards from the guard position. Devin Perez came in and played a solid 4 minutes. He got 2 steals in the time he was in. So anytime you can play for 4 minutes and generate 2 steals, 2 turnovers, that's a big help to the team. Their last game on Thursday was actually the first game this year that Devin Perez has not played in. He remained on the bench through the St. Mary loss, but made come back today. And then Zachary Brown earning some rare first half minutes. Brown has appeared in 9 games this year, but for a total of only 38 minutes, usually comes in at the end when games are out of hand for the most part. But he's able to come in for 3 minutes, drew a foul, he hit one of his free throws. He was able to block a shot as well and basically just be a big body in there, standing at 6'8", against this large McPherson lineup where they have so many players they can throw in there that are either tall, a couple standing at 6'6" and 6'8", and then a couple more who aren't quite as tall at 6'4" and 6'3", but are very wide and large players and hard to move off their spot down low when they post up. So it's been a bit of a battle in that respect for the Braves, in that they are a smaller, quicker team. So they have that to use to their advantage, and they have at times, but you also, sometimes you just can't stop a player who simply outweighs his defender by a good 40 pounds or so. And that's a big part of the reason why Alex Hasty has only played 7 minutes despite getting the start today, that players like Jeremiah Brooks, Zachary Brown, just with a little more size and are able to provide a little more defensively. Hasty is an all-conference defender from last year, but just giving up too many pounds to Thomas Butler, who's listed at 245, and I don't doubt that for a minute. We'll go ahead and take another break. You're listening to the Advantage Electric Halftime Show, brought to you by Braves Basketball here on KOFO.
Whether you're building or remodeling, you want your project to be unique to you. Eric Crowley of Advantage Electric can help.
Something recently we've started is custom lighting, making custom lights. I've noticed it's a new trend. Not everybody wants the big, box light fixtures that you can buy. Everybody's looking for something eclectic nowadays and new and a conversation piece.
Your ideas come to life.
Anything and everything that you could think of that you could possibly make a light fixture out of, we could certainly do it.
Advantage Electric, 229 North Main. Call 418-1218.
It's the annual store-wide clearance sale at Messenger's Home Furnishings in South Ottawa. This is one of the biggest sales of the year and includes every category in the store. Reclining furniture, bedroom furniture, dining room furniture, youth furniture, sofas, chairs, end tables, and much, much more. Save on closeouts of Serta iComfort, iSeries, and Perfect Sleeper mattresses while they last. Long-term interest-free financing is being offered, or you can use our free layaway and pay it off with your upcoming tax refund. Messenger's Home Furnishings is located just west of Sterling Stockade on 23rd Street in South Ottawa.
This is Ryan Disborough, your State Farm insurance agent in Garnett, providing insurance and financial services, including retirement options, bank loans, life insurance, and annuities. Call and schedule your financial services consultation today at 785-448-1660.
Hi, I'm Dalton Evans. I'm 10 years old and happy to report that I've never had a cavity, thanks to brushing twice a day and 2 cleanings a year at Dr. Hale Family Dentistry.
Schedule your family's appointment today by calling 242-1800.
Since 1944, families of Franklin County have called Dingle & Son Mortuary and Crematory in their time of need. Why? Because of the peace of mind received knowing that Dingle & Son will take charge and exceed expectations. Visit dinglemortuary.com.
To protect your family and plan for your financial future, get to know your Modern Woodman agent.
Hello, I'm Dale Pearson, your Modern Woodman agent in Ottawa, Kansas. Call me today at 242-6566.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Sports, information, and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS Ottawa, where keeping you informed comes first.
And we are back in McPherson with about 3.5 minutes left until the start of the second half. Again, the Braves up by 4, holding on to that lead as McPherson was able to cut into it significantly there at the end of the first half. If you look at the key stats, the important stats that can really swing a game, pretty even in terms of turnovers. McPherson's turned it over 5 times. The Braves turned it over 6 times. Rim protection, the Braves have 3 blocks, 2 by Bollinger and 1 by Zach Brown, none by McPherson. So McPherson beating Ottawa on the offensive boards with 8 rebounds on 24 missed shots, so 33%, or a third of their missed shots have turned into offensive rebounds. Whereas for the Braves, they've missed 15 shots today, grabbed 4 boards. So just over a quarter of their misses have turned into offensive rebounds, but they're shooting a much better percentage, 46% compared to 29%. But In terms of three-point shooting, it's been very even. The Braves are 4 of 11 from outside. McPherson 4 of 13. This is 2 straight games where the Braves have been a little better from three-point range. They're shooting just about 30% there on the season, but did quite a bit better on Thursday and are looking better so far today. We'll go ahead and take our last break. You've been listening to the Advantage Electric Halftime Show on KOFO.
This is Eric Crowley with Advantage Electric. On the court, teams look for any advantage they can get. When it comes to your electric needs, whether residential, commercial, or custom, we're your advantage. Advantage Electric, 229 North Main in Ottawa. Call today at 785-418-1218.
Technology, mobile banking. I totally heart my bank.
Kansas State Bank. A better way to bank with community people you know. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
At State Farm, our goal is to help people manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and realize their dreams. This is State Farm Agent Keith King in Ottawa. Let me help you protect what's most important to you. Give my office a call at 785-242-9435 or stop by at 111 South Main Street in Ottawa.
This is Dr. Adam Maxwell of Maxwell Chiropractic, serving you with chiropractic and wellness care at 225 South Walnut in Ottawa. Call 785-893-8272 for an appointment. As a lifelong Ottawa resident, I'm proud to be a supporter of OU Braves athletics and wish the teams good luck this season.
Community journalism is thriving at the Ottawa Herald. 3 days a week in print and every day online, the Herald's award-winning staff covers the news that matters to you. Breaking news, sports, events, and so much more. Just as the Herald has done for more than 140 years. Call 242-4700 to subscribe today, or find us online at www.ottawaherald.com, on Facebook, or download our app.
Welcome back. We are ready for the last half of basketball to be played in McPherson today. The Braves up 36-32, looking to hold on and even up their record in the KCAC and go up to 5-5. The starting lineup back out on the court for the Braves. And McPherson gets it straight into Thomas Butler working against Alex Hasty, and he goes up and even gets his own rebound, but misses both from point-blank range, and the Braves come away with it. So he was able to push Hasty around a bit in the first half, and McPherson made a definite effort to get it straight to him here early on. Here's Logan Bollinger with a hook shot. Got it to go. Braves are up by 6. Bollinger with the team-high 11 points, game-high 11 points. Here's Grant Raleigh. The turnaround shot missed. Alex Hasty cradles the rebound. And Hollis Mitchell with the ball to set things up. Hasty at the top of the key. Tries to get it down low. It's knocked away. Hasty tracks it back down. And here's Hollis Mitchell over to Logan Bollinger for 2. Got it to roll in. That's 2 he's hit with his foot on the line. Here's Grant Raleigh taking it back the other way. Now Butler at the top of the key hands it off to Aaron Bakura. Now Raleigh double teamed. Gets it over to Butler. Here's a 3 from the corner. That's DeAndre Henson knocking it down. Now a long full court pass to Bollinger, and he finds himself a half step underneath the basket and couldn't quite get the layup to roll in. 5-point game. Henson with the drive. That's going to be a charge. He ran into Logan Bollinger. Henson was determined to drive there and just sort of put his head down and ran, and Bollinger was in place. Alex Hasty to inbound to Hollis Mitchell. It's a half-court defensive setup for McPherson. They've got Grant Munson in. He didn't start, but played some good minutes in the first half, and they've kept him on here in the second. for Logan Bollinger working against Butler. Turnaround hook shot, missed. It's going to be a foul called against Cameron Lindsay for pushing off as he grabbed that offensive rebound. It'll go back the other way. That's his second foul. Hollis Mitchell will stay with point guard Grant Raleigh the full length of the court. Here's Munson swinging it over to Henson. Finds Bakura. Now Thomas Butler gets it down low. Henson backs it out, gets it over to Munson, wants to drive on Bollinger, now kicks it over to Butler, who's going to drive. Blocked by Logan Bollinger. Good defense. Here's Hollis Mitchell driving it in, then kicking it out to Titus Rice, swings it over to Alex Hasty. He gets to the basket and fouled by Munson. So Hasty doesn't take it to the rim often, but draws the foul there. Hasty has only shot 3 free throws this year, made 2 of them. That one's off to the left, no good. And Gurley is going to step on for Butler. One big guy for another. Hasty's second free throw is up and good. Pushes the lead to 6, 41-35, 17-20 remaining. There's a drive and dish by Raleigh. Now they kick it back out to Raleigh for 3. Missed the open 3 and offensive board by DeAndre Henson. Now here's Munson working against Hasty. Goes up, he's fouled. Munson will go to the line for a pair. This will be his 3rd set of free throws today. That's foul number 3 on Alex Hasty. So Jeremiah Brooks is going to come in for him. Munson 4 of 4 from the line today. His first free throw here is good. Rolled around the rim for a second, but went in. Now comes Hasty, in goes Brooks. 17:06 left on the clock. Lead down to 5. It'll be 4 if Munson continues to be perfect from the line. And he's not. Misses. Rebounded by Cameron Lindsay. That's board number 6 for him. Still a 5-point game, 17 minutes on the clock. Titus Rice out on the right wing. Gets it back into the hands of the point guard, Hollis Mitchell. Mitchell behind the timeline. So he'll try and get it to Jeremiah Brooks, who's fouled by Munson as he went for the steal. Or actually, the foul was called away from the ball. Foul will go against Carino Gurley, his second. Hollis Mitchell to inbound from the baseline, gets to Titus Rice. There's another foul. This one's also going to be on Gurley, away from the ball. Tried to fight through a screen and push Logan Bollinger. Now a quick 3rd foul. Gurley trying to tell the coach not to send a sub in for him, but apparently the coach makes the calls in terms of substitution, as they will send Ryan O'Hara in his place. Hollis Mitchell gets the inbound at the top of the key. Uses a screen, gets it to Logan Bollinger for 3. Way off target. Now a loose ball picked up by Titus Rice, and he's fouled as he went up for the putback. He's going to go to the line for a pair. That's already 5 team fouls this half on the Bulldogs. We're less than 4 minutes into the half. First free throw for Rice. Rims out. And Garrett Owen will sub in for Grant Raleigh at point guard for McPherson. Rice's free throw rattles out. So they can't add on to the lead. It stays at 5. DeAndre Henson with the ball. Swings it to Munson. Now here's Bakura. Trying to get it low to O'Hara. Now he's going to swing it back out. A three-pointer by Owen. Nothing but net. And the Bulldogs have cut the lead to just 2. It's the smallest it's been since it was 2-0. Cross-court pass was knocked away by McPherson out of bounds. It'll be an inbound on the baseline for Cameron Lindsay. The inbounds to Jeremiah Brooks. Titus Rice taking it to the basket. Nice finish. Pushes the lead back to 4. Knifed into the lane, then got past the rim and laid it in with his right hand across his body, using the rim to protect himself from blocked shot. Now there's O'Hara, has his shot partially blocked by Logan Bullinger. Goes out of bounds, tipped away by O'Hara. Mitchell to bring it down the court. Swinging out to Bullinger, thought about the 3, now take a step in, now kicks it out to Mitchell. Nothing but net on the 3-point shot. Drew the defense toward Bullinger, and that freed up some space for Mitchell, and he took advantage. Pushes the lead out to 7 after it was down to 2 just a minute ago. Now a drive by Henson, now kicks it over to O'Hara. A short-range shot, missed. Logan Bullinger with the board. Hands it off to Mitchell to bring it up the court. 15 minutes left. 7-point game. Hollis Mitchell. Gets it to Brooks. Now here's Cameron Lindsay. Gets it into the paint, kicks it out. Mitchell steps back, kicks it over to Bullinger for 3. Got it! And the Braves go up by 10. So 8 straight ever since the Bulldogs pulled to within 8. Or, excuse me, to within 2. It was 41-39, now 49-39. Munson has it stolen. Mitchell taking it back the other way. Wants to take it all the way. Now he's going to kick it out to Rice for 3. Got it! And it's a 13-point game. 52-39. McPherson wants a timeout to stop the bleeding. The Braves starting to pour it on now with 14:20 to go. We will take a full timeout and be back with more Braves basketball on KOFO.
When it's time to pop the question, or if the answer has already been yes, then it's time to visit Sutton's Jewelry. Why not pull out all the stops for your special day with a style that will take her breath away? From the latest sparkle to artistic magic, Sutton's Jewelry stays on top of the latest trending jewelry designs. Sutton's in-house talented bench jeweler, Phil Sutton, can size any selection, and in-house repairs are always a quick turnaround. Sutton's Jewelry, 207 South Main, downtown Ottawa.
When quality matters, choose the best. Choose Adamson Brothers Heating and Cooling. Call today and make sure your heating and cooling system is ready for the season at 785-242-9273. Adamson Brothers Heating and Cooling, maintaining your comfort for over 30 years.
This is Dr. Weston Zinner at Franklin County Chiropractic in Ottawa. We hope you're enjoying the game and remind you that whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, we can help relieve your pain for a better performance. Call 785-242-9393 for an appointment.
And we're back with the Braves up 52-39. Just overhearing Tim Schwartzendruber, the head coach of McPherson, from over on the other side of press row. Could hear him yelling at the team for allowing 2 straight wide open looks from 3-point range. Braves were able to capitalize on both. And after the Bulldogs pulled it to within 2, 41-39, they've allowed an 11-0 run to OU. And the Braves find themselves up by a baker's dozen. Just under 6 minutes into the second half. Makura kicks it into Butler. Now he sends it out to Owen for 3. Missed. Short. Titus Rice on the rebound. And that's going to be a travel. Got to dribble before you step. Cameron Lindsay will come out, and Mike McKinney makes his first appearance of the second half. 14:02 remaining. Person tries to get it into Butler, overshot him with the pass. It goes out of bounds. And some confusion as to whose throwing it was as McPherson stepped in to take another throw. Here's Hollis Mitchell bringing it down the court. Eric Stark in for the first time today. He'll swing the ball over to Mike McKinney, who is fouled. Or no, that's going to be an offensive foul against Stark down low away from the ball. Looked like it was going to be a reach on Bakura. Instead, it's a foul down low. Garrett Owen to bring it down the court for McPherson. The freshman seeing a lot of minutes today. So is Grant Munson, a fellow freshman. So some young guys get a lot of minutes here for the Bulldogs. Here's Hollis Mitchell on the rebound, bringing it down, gets it to McKinney. Now Mitchell knifes into the lane, now tries to swing it back out to Jeremiah Brooks. The pass was tipped, and Brooks commits a foul, trying to gather it up. 3 fouls on Brooks now as Neidig comes in for Hollis Mitchell. McPherson setting up the offense. Here's Owen kicking it out to Cook from the wing, who hits the 3 and pulls the Bulldogs back to within 10. And Neidig is going to be called for a travel on the inbound as he pivoted to get away from the pressure. And they'll say he took his first step before he took his first dribble. So now the lead cut to 10, and McPherson could make it single digits after the quick turnover. 13:07 on the clock. Owen kicks it out to Bakura for 3, misses. Neidig on the board. Neidig got to McKinney on the wing. He's going to get to Stark down low, finds Titus Rice back outside. Rice is going to pull up for 3 from the top of the key off the back of the iron, rebounded by Neidig. Dishes to Brooks, who has it stripped and into the hands of Butler. Now they get it going the other way. Here's a 3 from McPherson, missed, but Bakura gets his own board, kicks it out to Cook. He's way off on his 3-point attempt. Eric Stark tracks down the defensive rebound, but falling out of bounds, tries to save it. Now that's a foul on Neidig, who is trying to draw the charge as Butler went flying into the lane. They'll say he did not have position. And Butler can cut it to single digits as he shoots 2 free throws here. Devin Perez ready to check on for Titus Rice. Butler has been the leading scorer for McPherson today. Free throw is good. Now free throw number 2 upcoming. Butler, a 71% free throw shooter. He hits both of those, and it's back to an 8-point game after the Braves had pushed it to 12. Neidig picks up his dribble, now gets it to Perez. Swings it over to Mike McKinney. He's got all subs on, not a single starter on the court right now. Here's Jeremiah Brooks with a fadeaway jumper, gets it to roll in. Lead back up to 10. Garrett Owen has it stolen from behind by Devin Perez. Quick hand. McKinney finds Perez. Thought about the 3. Passes it up, gets it into Jeremiah Brooks. Finishes through contact and 1. Draws the foul by Thomas Butler. Three fouls on Butler now. The Braves up by 12, and Brooks could make it 13 here. That the free throw is in. 13-point lead for the Braves. Their biggest of the game was 15 in the first half. Garrett Owen swings it out to Butler. He gets it back into Owen's hands. Chris Cook now retreats all the way back to behind the timeline. Now here's a three for Butler from the wing. Banked it in. Sometimes you just get lucky. 10-point game. Shot clock was running down. He was off target, but off target in exactly the right way as it goes in off the glass from three-point range. Now, nice pass by Brooks, finding Eric Stark underneath the basket. It goes up and in. Garrett Owen tries to take it coast to coast off the inbound. He missed the layup entirely. It goes off the glass and never even touches the rim. Now here's Devin Perez, gets it underneath to Brooks. Blocked shot, but a foul called. Got some arm with the ball. That was Grant Munson. Four fouls now on Munson. The freshman getting extra playing time today, but in danger of fouling out. And it looks like Ryan O'Hara is going to come in for him. Alex Hasty prepared to come back into the game for OU. Brooks will shoot two. First one rolls in. 60-47. Braves lead as we see Gurley, O'Hara, and Henson on for McPherson. Coming in for Munson, Butler, and Bakura. Brooks gets the ball for his second free throw. And he's hit four straight. 61-47, Braves up 14. 15's their biggest lead of the game. Now Brooks comes off and Stark comes back on. Owens finds Cook for a long two-point jump shot. O'Hara tips the offensive rebound, gets it to Cook, who saves it, and that was a hard foul at half court. As looked like Stark was going after the ball after it was saved and might have hit a player in the face. No flagrant foul call, though. The standard foul. Person will set things up with just over 10 minutes to go. They're down by 14. Butler's pass is stolen by McKinney. Racing to the basket, goes up off the glass and in, and the Braves have their biggest lead of the game. 16 points. It's 63-47. Owen kicked it to Cook for three. Short. Rebounded. Almost rebounded by Stark. Looks like he was fouled by Chris Cook, who went up to try and challenge him for it. That's 7 fouls now on McPherson, so Stark's going to get a couple of free throws for his effort. Stark is 5 of 8 from the line on the year. Doesn't get there often. Free throw is off target. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. And that's a travel as DeAndre Henson got the rebound and then it looked like he started to pass, realized his target had moved, and then pulled the ball back, but he had already taken his step as he started to release the pass. So as he pulled it back, he traveled. So it's Braves ball. The inbound leads to an easy shot, but it's missed. Knocked out of bounds by McPherson, though. Braves still have 16, 9:47 remaining in this game. McKinney to throw it in on the baseline. Hasty, the only starter on the floor right now. He's joined by Perez, Nadig, Stark, and McKinney. Perez gets the inbound. Now he'll get it out to Nadig to set it up. Devin Perez wants to drive. Now kicks it out to Alex Hasty, who swings it over to Nadig. Gets it to Stark down low. Swings it back out to McKinney. Passes it to the inside to Nadig, who barely tracks that one down. Only 3 seconds left on the shot clock. He's going to have to go up. He might have traveled there, but he gets the lay-in. A Steve Mikhailiuk-esque drive by Jacob Nadig. And now McPherson steps on the sideline, taking it down the other way. So it's an 18-point game, and McPherson wants a timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll take a break as well. You're listening to Braves basketball on KOFO.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
This is Dr. Weston Zinner at Franklin County Chiropractic in Ottawa. We hope you're enjoying the game and remind you that whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, we can help relieve your pain for a better performance. Call 785-242-9393 for an appointment.
Kramer Pharmacy, downtown Ottawa, hopes you're enjoying this KOFO sports broadcast and wishes all the area teams good luck this season. Call Kramer Pharmacy today and ask about their convenient MedSync program that allows you to have all your prescriptions filled at the same time each month. Call 242-2055.
And the Braves are up by 18, 65-47. It's their biggest lead of the game with 9:11 to go. Hasty inbounds to Neidig after McPherson just turned it over. Hasty finds McKinney on a backdoor cut, who lays it in, and this is a 20-point game. So McPherson had cut the lead all the way down to 2, and since then it has ballooned to 20. Now here's Grant Raleigh out on the wing, defended by McKinney. Gets it into Butler, working on Hasty. Has it stolen by Devin Perez. I believe that's steal number 4 for him. He finds Eric Stark cutting to the basket, missed the layup. And now it's going to be a foul as he bumped into, I believe that was Chris Cook, coming down with the rebound. That's team foul number 7, so that will put Cook on the line to shoot 1 and 1. He's an 86% free throw shooter. And now we'll finally step up to the line. 8:24 remaining in this game. Shot's good, so he'll get another. He's a long approach to his free throw shooting. Here's number 2, it's good. It works, though. Neidig gets the inbound, will bring it down. Neidig had an open 3, not a three-point shooter, passes it up. Here's Mike McKinney. He does want a 3, and he's got it. 21-point lead, a new high for the Braves, 70-49. Now Cook finds Gurley underneath, who goes up, and he's fouled by a couple of players. We'll see who got him first. It was Devin Perez. Gurley's a big guy, and he hit the ground hard there after the foul. Logan Bollinger ready to check in, probably for Stark. Let's see. First free throw by Gurley is good, and Stark will come out. Free throw number 2 rolls in. Touched every part of the rim and went through the net. Inbound to McKinney. Some full court pressure generates the steal going back, and an easy layup on the other end for McPherson. That's why you want the ball in the hands of Neidig. McKinney is trying to take that down and just had to do a little too much dribbling, more than he's used to. Neidig bringing this one down, setting up the offense, uses a screen by Bollinger. Now kicks it out to Devin Perez, passes up to 3, loses track of the ball for a second. Now it's going to be a tie-up on the floor. And they'll stay with Ottawa. Cameron Lindsay and Titus Rice will check back in after a long break. Devin Perez comes to the bench, as does Mike McKinney. We've got 7:22 remaining. The Braves are up by 17. They've led by as many as 21. Lindsay over to Titus Rice out on the wing. Gets it back up top to Neidig. Neidig starts the drive and kicks it out off to Hasty. Here's a deep three as the shot clock expires. Lindsay was off target. Titus Rice runs all the way up the bleachers to the wall on the side of the court as he had a lot of momentum trying to save that ball. Lindsay had to shoot that from about 7 feet behind the three-point line. Hasty kicked it out to him with only 1 second remaining on the shot clock, and it was all he could do to fire one up from way deep. Speaking of way deep, here's a long three by McPherson, missed by Raleigh, but rebounded by DeAndre Henson. Now he gets the ball to Butler, who finds a cutting Gurley, who's fouled. Carino Gurley drawing the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2. Gurley, just a 51% free throw shooter on the year. First one rolls in. They'll get another try. The lead is down to 16. Bulldogs on a make it 6-0 run now as it's down to 15, 70-55. The Braves were up 70-49 at their high water mark here in the second half. An inbound to Titus Rice as Neidig and Lindsay were both being blanketed. Rice gets it past half court. Working on the left wing here, tries to dribble around the defender who's going to be called for a foul with his body. That was DeAndre Henson's whistle. Collins Mitchell's going to come in, so is Jeremiah Brooks. Foul number 3 on Henson. Brooks and Mitchell coming in for Hasty and Neidig. One and one for Titus Rice, who is a 73% free throw shooter. Goes in, he'll get a second. Braves back up to a 16-point lead, just under 6.5 to go. And second free throw rattles around and rims out. Rebounded by Butler. A big crowd in McPherson, but a very quiet one. It's a big crowd for the size of the gym. For the women's game, there weren't many people here. It did fill in fairly well for the men's game, but just they don't generate a lot of noise. And a lot of fans here for the Braves as well. It's Cameron Lindsay kicking out to Titus Rice for a wide open three. Misses, though. Rebound by Henson. Henson wants to go coast to coast. Plays it up and in off the glass. Cuts it to a 14-point lead, and now a foul on Butler, who got the steal by virtue of bumping his man out of the way. And you can easily get called for a technical foul by running to the other side of the court in frustration after a call. You see it a lot in the NBA and NCAA basketball, but that's exactly what he did. No call of that sort here. Mitchell hits his first free throw. Braves are in the double bonus. That was foul number 4, and it actually was not Butler. That was Gurley. They're built almost identically. Just about 6'3", 6'4", and just extraordinarily wide. Now a three-pointer rebounded by Henson. McPherson extending their possession. Henson's going to put up another three. Short, rebounded by Jeremiah Brooks. They'll get it over to Hollis Mitchell to set things up. Titus Rice got into the lane and tried to kick it out to Logan Bollinger, but Bollinger wasn't where he thought he'd be. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Garrett Owen bringing it down for McPherson now. Grant Raleigh out of the game. Here's Gurley trying to find Butler on a cut to the rim, but the pass was Aaron's, and Butler tried to track it down but couldn't quite do it. Out of bounds, and Brooks will throw it in. McPherson going to a full court defensive look. Gurley's going to come off. And Aaron Bakura back in. Now a long pass to Logan Bollinger on the other side of the court. They went to a full court press, so Brooks just decided to bypass that whole mess and get it to the other side of the court. Braves will set up their half-court offense. Titus Rice with the ball at the top of the key. Thought about shooting. Now he's going to drive. Now he kicks it out. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Mitchell knocks down the three. Pushes it to an 18-point game. Butler calling for the ball. They'll get it to Henson, who misses the jumper, and Brooks grabs the rebound. Now then Butler gets his arms in there and wraps it up for a tie-up. Possession arrow pointing to McPherson, so they'll get the ball. Cook gets the inbound, backs it up. Now at the top of the key, he'll fire it over to the three-point shooter in the corner, Aaron Bakura, who hits the three. I think that may be his first made three of the game. Yes, it was. Now there's a foul on Garrett Owen going for the steal there. Again, they're in the double bonus, so Hollis Mitchell will go to the free throw line for a pair of shots. First one is in. Second shot, rims off. 16-point game, 3:45 to go. Garrett Owen wants to take it all the way. He's fouled. So he'll go to the line for a pair of free throws. First free throw is good for Garrett Owen. Point game now. His second free throw rattles out. Titus Rice gets the board, sends it out to Hollis Mitchell. Here's Titus Rice. To Lindsey to Brooks. They flip it over to Hollis Mitchell again. Now Brooks wants to back Munson down. Goes up off the glass and good. Nice little turnaround jump shot by Jeremiah Brooks. Coming back the other way, three-pointer by Bakura, knocks it down. 14-point game. It's not over yet, though the Braves are in good position. Bollinger at the top of the key, swings it over to Titus Rice on the left wing, working against Henson swings it over to Hollis Mitchell. Mitchell backs it out and starts the offense over again. 5 seconds left on the shot clock now. Turnaround, fadeaway, knocks it down. We're going to see a timeout taken by the Braves with a 16-point lead. Full timeout. We'll take a minute and be back with more Braves basketball here on KOFO.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
If you don't sit in your lucky seat, your team could lose. So don't leave your lucky seat. But do pick up your phone or computer and order B-Dubs to go. Or if you've got a big group, call in for the party menu. That way you can order wings, pick them up, and get back to your lucky seat. And if you do lose while sitting in your lucky seat, you can still feel lucky eating your feelings. Spicy feelings. Keep your superstitions. We do it for you. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Prices and participation vary. See participating locations for details. Void where prohibited.
We're back in McPherson where the Braves lead 80-64. Ottawa taking the timeout there, and the message just seems to be play good defense. Don't foul. Don't let them extend the game. And try and get out of here with a road victory. Garrett Owens bring it down for the Bulldogs. The team down 16 with about 2.5 minutes to go. So off balance three by Bakura. Off target three. Rebounded by Titus Rice. Runs into open space. He's met with some resistance and gets it out to Neidig. Neidig and Hollis Mitchell both on the court right now. You get sure ball handling out there and make sure they don't have any silly turnovers. Neidig will kick it out to Titus Rice. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Rises up for three. Contested three and doesn't fall. Now McPherson on the run, wanting to go back the other direction. And Bakura goes up and lays it in. Lead down to 14. Mitchell over to Neidig. Gets it to Cam Lindsay. And that's going to be a foul on Jacob Neidig away from the ball. Referee's motioning indicates that he might have tried to push away from a defender. It was off the ball, so I didn't see what happened. Neidig definitely didn't agree with the call, but players rarely agree with getting called for a foul. Now there's a foul on the other end as Chris Cook went up to lay it in. No fouling was one of the messages Coach Siebenthal delivered to his team during that last timeout. So giving up the offensive board and then the foul, not what the Braves wanted to do here with a minute 18 to go, holding on to a 14-point lead. Cook's first free throw rolls out. Cook also not the guy you want to put on the line, though he did miss that one. As the highest percentage free throw shooter on the team. Second free throw is good. The lead is 13. And we'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back with the end of the Braves game as they lead the Bulldogs by 13.
Have a big fitness goal for 2017? These well-chosen deals are just for you. This week at Target, C9 Champion apparel is buy one, get one 50% off. Plus, save $10 on your Ignite by Spry or C9 Champion fitness equipment purchase of $40 or more. Just see your local store or Target.com to get the coupon and find great deals on fitness equipment in stores and online. Restrictions may apply.
We are back at McPherson. The Braves are up 80-67 here in the waning moments of the game. About to seal up their 5th victory of the KCAC season, barring the very unforeseen with a 13-point lead, just a minute 18 on the clock and the ball. And a full court pass all the way down to Hollis Mitchell on the other end, and Hollis Mitchell's going to go up and get the easy lay-in. So once again, they beat the full court press by just finding an open man all the way on the other side of the court. And now a steal by Hollis Mitchell. Tripped up for a second, but he's going to go scoop it up off the glass. Misses, but Titus Rice there to jam it home on the follow-up. Now Mitchell going to be called for a foul, defending Garrett Owen, taking it down the other way. 17-point game now. Titus Rice just threw that one down with authority off the rim. First free throw is good for Garrett Owen. Shot number 2 is good. 15-point game. Braves lead 84-69. Mitchell brings it across the half-court line. Now dribbles it past Cook, dumps it off to Jeremiah Brooks, who finishes off the glass through some contact. Referee's just kind of letting things go, I think, at this point. Not hard enough to call. Garrett Owen spots up for 3, knocks it down. 14-point lead. Neidig into Rice, back to Neidig. He'll get it to Cameron Lindsay, who's just going to hold it. Wait for McPherson's defense to get back. They're not going to bother to foul at this point. And there's about a half-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, so the Braves will likely take a shot clock violation with about half a second left. Titus Rice lets the shot clock run out. 1.1 seconds left on the clock. McPherson will throw it in, and that'll be the end of it. The Braves are going to win this one 86-72. They'll improve to 5-5 on the season in conference play. McPherson drops to 1-9. And that will do it from McPherson. 86-72 the final. We'll take a break, and then we'll recap the game for you. This is Braves basketball on KOFO.
Anyone can call themselves a construction company, slap a sign on the side of their truck, and drive around town looking for work. Is that who you want to hire? No, you're smarter than that. Wise Guys Construction at 108 North Main in Ottawa has been in business for 13 years, building new residential homes, adding additions, and finishing basements, solving commercial structure needs for businesses, and repairing damage left behind from fire or water. When it comes to who you hire for residential and commercial construction needs, be wise. Call Wise Guys Construction at 785-229-5651.
Eric Price and his staff at the Lamb Roberts Funeral Homes are proud to sponsor this KOFO sports broadcast and honored to help so many families in the community with compassionate care when it's needed most. Lamb Roberts Funeral Home, Ottawa, Baldwin City, and Overbrook. People's Bank in Ottawa is proud to support our area sports teams. From People's Bank Field at Ottawa University to our Bucks for Buckets promotion and more, we believe our local sports programs are an investment in our future. Best of luck to all the teams from all of us at People's Bank. Member FDIC.
This is Ryan Disborough, your State Farm insurance agent in Garnett, providing insurance and financial services, including retirement options, bank loans, life insurance, and annuities. Call and schedule your financial services consultation today at 785-448-1660.
Confidence, passion, skill, knowledge. At Ottawa University, I've gained the strength to discover who I am and the confidence to be myself. I've met people from around the globe from different backgrounds and cultures, with opportunities to get involved and bring our passions to life with more than 30 clubs and organizations. We all come together into a faith-inspired community that quickly becomes family. I invite you to be brave like me at Ottawa University. Find out more at ottawa.edu today.
And we're back in McPherson to recap the men's game, after the women lost 52-42, the men came out and got off to a great start in the first half. Went up by 15, 25-10, but allowed McPherson to battle back to within 4 at halftime. And then that lead was cut all the way down to 2, and at that point, Ottawa went on a huge run, extended it all the way out to a 21-point game, would end up with a 14-point victory, 86-72. Your key players today, Titus Rice came up big after a quiet game on Thursday, had 18 points to go with 6 rebounds and an assist and a steal. Logan Bollinger, 16 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. Hollis Mitchell, 15 points and 7 assists, also got a steal there toward the end. And then Jeremiah Brooks, for the second straight game, came in off the bench to score in double digits with 15, also had an assist, a steal, and 4 boards. Jacob Neidig was a solid game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for him. And then Hollis Mitchell, I'm sorry, I went over Hollis Mitchell already. Cameron Lindsay, 7 points, and then led the team in rebounds with 6. Also had 4 assists to his name. So a lot of the usual suspects, plus Jeremiah Brooks making another appearance in the key players in the box score for the Braves as the men's team advances to 5-5 in conference play, hands McPherson their 9th loss of the season in KCAC play. They'll be back again on Thursday at 6, and we'll bring you that game from all the way up in York, Nebraska. Thanks for listening. This has been a KOFO production of Braves basketball on KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM.
We hope you enjoyed this broadcast of Ottawa University Braves basketball on KOFO. Brought to you by Modern Woodman agent Dale Pearson, Dr. Hale Family Dentistry, Kansas State Bank, Adamson Brothers Heating and Cooling, the Ottawa Recreation Commission, and by State Farm Insurance agent Ryan Dispro, Ransom Memorial Hospital, Sutton's Jewelry, CarStar, Messenger's Home Furnishings. Also by Dingle & Son Mortuary, Ottawa University, the Ottawa Herald, Wise Guys Construction, Kramer Pharmacy, Franklin County Chiropractic, and Cosentino's Price Chopper, State Farm Insurance agent Keith King, Lamb Roberts Funeral Home, People's Bank, Advantage Electric, Quality Structures Incorporated, and Maxwell Chiropractic. For more information about our next OU Brave sports broadcast, log on to the KOFO sports page at KOFO.com and listen to 103.7 FM for the KOFO sports calendar. This has been an exclusive presentation from your sports source for East Central Kansas, KOFO.